Hi, I'm Vahid Razavi with BizCloud and EthicsInTech. I'm here with Brett Solomon, the Executive Director of Access Now. Brett, you've been an activist and you have started Access Now for the past 5 years. We're here at the Human Rights Conference. You had a similar event in 2011. Can you talk to us about the Human Rights Conference that's taking place now and maybe some of the differences between today's conference in 2014 and what took place here in 2011?
Yeah. So you're right, we're at RightsCon Silicon Valley. Which is basically an event that brings together lots of different stakeholders, activists from all around the world, technology companies. There's 10 or so governments here, including the European Parliament. And essentially what we're trying to do is look at the human rights implications and consequences of new technologies and try and ensure that those technologies are as supportive and enabling of user rights as possible. So particularly focused on things like the right to privacy, the right to freedom of expression, the right to association. You know, as everything moves into the digital environment, if you can ensure that the platforms are supportive of the users themselves, then you end up in a position where people are able to really take full full advantage of all of those platforms that lets them speak louder, lets them associate better, allows them to hear more stories, and also, of course, allows them to be safe and secure. The flip side of that, of course, is that you end up with an insecure digital environment in which people are at risk, people's emails are hacked, the policy environment is such that people lose their rights in the offline and online world.
When it comes to digital freedom, you guys have been doing a lot of activism against ACTA and SOPA, as well as working towards restoring the Fourth Amendment in the U.S. Can you talk about what it takes from an organization's perspective like Access to have this kind of success that you guys have had in the past few months and years?
Is it success? I don't know. I think that we're very clear about our mission as an organisation, which is to defend and extend the digital rights of users at risk. We have a three-part strategy which focuses on pragmatic and principled policy, advocacy to try and get those policies implemented, and then technology and working with actors, civil society actors around the world. And so we're just combining policy, advocacy and technology to try and shift some of the debate. So sometimes, you know, it's a legislative thing, sometimes it's a policy thing, sometimes it's a terms of service thing, sometimes it's a coding thing, and we just use the different parts of the organisation appropriately to get to where we need to get to.
Well, in Silicon Valley, there's a lot of folks that are concerned about their digital freedoms and digital rights on the web, especially since the Snowden's revelations. If they want to get involved with Access, new entrepreneurs, startups, established companies, and support your initiatives and the work that you're doing, what's the best way for them to engage with you in terms of new enterprise?
Yeah, there's different ways, really. Like some people might like to support our technology work, support our digital security helpline. Some people might like to blog, to tweet, to do research, policy work. Of course, people can donate to Access. You know, and I think that this is the building of a movement for digital rights, like a global movement for digital rights, requires all of us. You know, like we can't just be reliant upon the platforms, or we can't be reliant upon government policy. We actually are in a really interesting phase at the moment where you can collectivize all of those different stakeholders, in particular the user, to play their little bit in actually rejecting ACTA, or saying no to SOPA and PIPA, or you know, even just using safe technologies, like deciding on their technology based on the privacy policy of that company, as opposed to just the one that seems to be the most efficient or the one that's you know, the shiniest. Like, we have to demand as users what we want in the digital environment. Otherwise, we are just relying upon Silicon Valley, and Silicon Valley's interests are often connected to, you know, market share, not necessarily digital rights.
Great. Well, we wish you much success, Brett, in this putting this event on, and thank you so much for having us here. It's great work, and keep it up. Thank you, sir.